Welcome back, hockey fans, to Royally Quacked Draft Edition. We have all sorts of news, trades, signings. It's going to be a busy day today, fans. Wow, Cody, I am just blown away with what's gone on just in the last 24 hours. How about you?
Just in the last hour.
Well, but 24 hours, we had the first
24 hours.
round. We've had a lot of things happen, even before the draft. You know, Ducks make a big trade, controversial trade with a lot of fans. We'll see if Verbeek knows what he's doing or he doesn't know what he's doing once everything gets settled, I guess, because everybody's not sure.
Yeah.
So, you want to start off with Duck news?
Oh, do I? Okay. So on Monday, I was off on Monday because, like I said last week, as I told you, we went to see Patrick Warburton, Kronk from Emperor's New Groove. Hilarious, by the way. I highly recommend going and seeing him. It was funny because he did say a couple jokes, and then we were like in the VIP section. It was only like $10 extra tickets. I was like, but you had like more room. You were like, and we had a table. It was more comfortable. And I'd rather be comfortable. And
That's
I looked,
nice.
I left, and there was 4 people there. And then about 15 minutes in, they were gone. I think he said something, and they just took off. I didn't think he said anything that bad where someone should leave a comedy show, but I digress. But yeah. So the show was late. I had Monday off, and I slept in on Monday. I was like, hey, I'm off on a Monday. I'm gonna sleep in, only to wake up to this terrible, terrible news that I'm about to say right now. But the Anaheim Ducks traded forward Trevor Zegras to the freaking Philadelphia Flyers in exchange for forward Ryan Paling, the 45th overall selection in the 2025 draft, and a 4th round pick in 2026. Yeah. No first round picks, no big all-star player coming back in a package deal with Zegras. No. That's what we got. We got a depth forward who's probably going to be our fourth line center this year, and then 2 picks. Yes, the trade was that shocking to everyone.
Well, and I can see to a point what you're talking about, but um, the guy they picked up is over 50% in faceoffs, and he's a great penalty killer. What did you guys suck at last year?
Everything.
Yeah, well, penalty killing was one of them.
Yeah,
So,
and power
yeah,
play, which is what Zegras is good at.
I think I have to believe there's a bigger plan, and we just haven't seen it all come to fruition because of if this stays status quo, I agree with you. They did not get enough for Trevor Zegras. Um, I did hear through some media that you know he kind of was feeling maybe a new scenery might rejuvenate his career more. Now, I'm not sure if that was substantiated or not, but maybe that's part of that trade. I know that Paling, picking him up, they liked his face-off, they liked his penalty kill, and what I always say, if you look at a lot of the Stanley Cup championship teams, it's the role players that make a difference at times. It's not the superstars.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like I said, I knew Zegras was going to be traded soon. Like I know I said on the podcast that Zegras wasn't going anywhere, but after Verbeek coming out and saying like he wants to try to play more like a team like Florida, Zegras isn't that kind of player where he's going to play like players on Florida. So like I said, I didn't want Zegras to leave, but I understand trading him away. But trading him at this point in time when his value was so low is what I have the issue with.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, like, you bring in Quenneville, who was one of the coaches that Zegras looked up to because his favorite player was Patrick Kane. Who did Patrick Kane play for? Quenneville. That it just made so much sense. So you bring in a coach like Quenneville who's going to help Zegras' game, and then you don't give him any time to really learn under Quenneville. You bring in one of his off-season best friends, Kreider, too, and then you ship Zegras out for pennies, and you didn't like. If the Ducks would have like at least played until like the trade deadline with Zegras, maybe he plays better, he builds up his trade value, or maybe see like, oh, maybe Zegras can fit in here, or maybe Zegras' value is high, maybe we can get more from him, or even trade him to get like a superstar player. But no, we just traded him for pennies on the dollar.
Well, maybe that superstar player is going to come in with some of the money that they freed up getting rid of.
That's the only.
That's the only thing I think.
That's the only thing I can think of too. Is exactly that. That's what Verbeek is thinking, but I still don't agree with the full trade. Let's just put it that way. But let's go to why Pat Verbeek and what he said about it. This is Ducks GM Pat Verbeek on sending Trevor Zegras to the Flyers. While this was a difficult trade to make, we have and will continue to look at retooling our roster for the next couple of months, and this transaction is part of that process. I want to thank Trevor for his contributions and efforts over the last 6 years. While this was a difficult trade to make, we have and will continue to look at retooling our roster over the next couple of months, and this transaction is a part of that process. We wish Trevor the best of luck with the Flyers. So, and I'm also going to just say another quote. And this is the one I call, there was a card game that we used to play as kids. There's a PG version and a G version of it, where it was bull crap or bull.
Yeah, I got it.
And this is the one I call bull crap on. And this is what Verbeek said. I've never had any value to gauge because there was never really anything to talk about in the past as far as a Trevor trade. I've made the trade and I got what we wanted, and that was also from Pat Verbeek on the Zegras trade. The reason I call bullcrap on that is because he even came out and said that Montreal offered them, I think, was it a first round pick and then a prospect defenseman, was it Logan Mailloux, for him. So there's your value right there, unless he's talking about the lower end value that Zegras has. So this is why I'm calling bullcrap on that quote. If people are mad, then be mad at me. That's fine. Join the club. But so I'm going to start talking more positive about this trade. This is what Pat Verbeek said on Ryan Poehling. He has really good speed and I had mentioned before, same of the special teams. Ryan is the number one guy that goes over for the Flyers on a penalty kill, and we're looking to improve in that area. So he certainly is going to add speed, and he's going to add penalty killing ability to our roster. So I'm trying to show up a certain amount of aspects for our special teams with players that can do a good job there. So, like I said, I think Ryan Poehling was a good add for this team, but not for losing Trevor Zegras. I'm going to just leave it there. Okay. And more positive news. So since we had the decentralized draft, that means no teams were present at the draft and everything. Each team for the first rounders had if they wanted to come up with a way to announce their picks. Like, having a player or a celebrity or someone to announce the pick. And I loved who they chose for the Anaheim Ducks. They asked from the original Mighty Ducks movies to announce the first round pick, the Mighty Ducks stars Joshua Jackson, who played Charlie Conway, and Marguerite Monroe, who played Connie. And they did a fantastic job announcing the Ducks pick last night, I might say. So the positive news on that was a great pick, and they rep the orange jersey really well and everything. Sorry, Adam's in the chat, and Adam if Adam's in the chat, here's what he has to say about Ryan Poehling. He's not even worth a short can of salt and vinegar Pringles.
Oh,
thank you for the PG version this time, Adam. I don't know if I could have said what you texted me earlier this week. But speaking of draft and prospects, the Anaheim Ducks development camp will start next week at Great Park Ice, and this is free of charge and open to the public. I know there's dates. I didn't look it up. I'm so sorry, but I'm pretty sure you guys go on the Ducks website. They'll have them right there. I believe it starts Monday or Tuesday, one of the 2 days. And speaking of stealing stuff from the Kings, which I love hearing, the Ducks announced one of their assistant coaches this last week. Jay Woodcroft is joining the Ducks as an assistant coach, but the deal will be expected to be announced on July 1 when his Oiler contract expires.
Gibson just got traded.
we already know.
Really? We're live. Well, she ruined
Spoiler
that.
alert! Spoiler alert! Executive producer Vicky Spink just did a spoiler alert.
And that was literally what I was about to talk about next. No, Adam, I 100% agree. He should have been the head coach. He was my first choice. Well, okay. He was my 1B. 1A was gone pretty quickly. That was Mike Sullivan. But Jay Woodcroft being here is a good thing because he's going to run the power play for the Ducks. To go from, okay, I'm just saying, this is what Doug Stolhan talked about in our Ducks grades. To go from a coach like Cronin to Quenneville has to probably be one of the best head coaching upgrades maybe in NHL history. And then going from Rich Clune to Jay Woodcroft probably has to be one of the best assistant coach upgrades ever. And if something does happen with Quenneville, saying it doesn't work out or something happens, we got Jay Woodcroft right there. So what a great move by the Anaheim Ducks to bring in Jay Woodcroft as an assistant coach. Thank you, Lord, for that power play. Because with him running it, it should be a hell of a lot better than which Rich Clune ran last year. Hopefully it's not just send it over to McTavish or Vetrano for the one-timer. Hopefully we do something different. That'd be nice. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is what my mom already spoiled. What happened about 10, 15 minutes ago? The Ducks traded goalie John Gibson to the Detroit Red Wings, and the Ducks get back goalie Peter Mrazek, a 2026 second-round pick, and a 2027 fourth-round pick. And you're probably wondering, can we trust Elliot? Elliot Friedman? I think we could trust Elliot. I mean, sometimes
It just got announced on the draft.
Oh, it just did? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on my notes.
Where do you think Mom got it from? She's watching the draft.
Spoiling our show and everything. Maybe you should have told Mom beforehand, then she wouldn't have spoiled it on the show.
I offered.
Yeah, I know. That was my fault. But
it's okay. It's all right.
So this move, I love and hate it. Yes, I would have loved Gibson to stay as a Duck and have the tandem with Dostal and Gibson this year. I thought that would have been the right move to do. But this move frees up $2.1 million on the cap this year. And then Mrazek is a UFA at the end of this year. So his 4.25 million is gone after this year. So boom, that just adds more cap space for the year after with Gibson being traded. So and no retention. So the Ducks did not retain any salary on John Gibson. So that's a great move. I would say this is a good move. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I think it's a good move because I think it just adds more cap space for the Ducks. And because let's see if I go on Puckpedia. Let's see. Now the Ducks have, let me refresh, just over $38 million in cap space. Adam is asking, is this going to be a 1A, 1B situation, or is he going to become Dostal's backup? I hope he's just the backup because I know Mrazek's a decent goalie, but I know he's older. So I don't want him to be a 1B. I rather Dostal take the reins now, especially he might be getting a big deal, hopefully soon. I'm hoping for. So hopefully Dostal's probably playing 55 games, 50 to 55 games, and then Mrazek plays the rest of the games. Yeah, Adam. Hopefully straight backup. Completely agree. I hope he's just the backup. He'll play, the 25 to 35 games, just when those, the back-to-backs, and stuff like that. So we're not going to talk about the draft picks in the Ducks or Kings news right now. We're going to save that. We're only going to talk about our first round picks that happened last night. And then we're going to do a whole nother episode just for draft. So just give you a heads up. But that is, as of right now, that is it for Ducks news, unless something else pops up.
Okay, on to Kings news. So, according to Pierre LeBrun, there's 7 to 8 teams, including the Kings, are looking at goalie Jake Allen as an option this offseason. What are you laughing about now, Cody?
Well, because I mentioned the draft picks, and Adam put Kachow.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Another spoiler
alert. Boy.
I'm gonna just put in the podcast title, Mom and Adam spoils episode.
Okay, back on to Kings news. This is per Ken Holland. I want to sign him to an extension, and we'll probably get it to sometime in July. We're not going to trade him. He loves it here. He wants to be here, and we want him here. And that's about Adrian Kempe. Why wouldn't you want a guy that plays 200 feet of hockey and plays it well? He's going to get a nice raise. He's had a great deal. The Kings got a great deal when they signed him last time. Also from Ken Holland, defense is at the top of the list. The Kings have made Gavrikov 2 offers since Holland took over, upping his money in both. Biggest difference is dollars. It's not term. Kings will look to trade his rights at the draft if not signed. That has not happened, I can tell you. Since they would be wanting first round pick, I would assume. Anyways. Also, Holland expects a lot of trades come deadline day. We'll see regarding the Kings. And this news is old news also. The Kings are open to trading the 24 overall pick for a top 9 forward. They did trade the 24th overall pick, but I'll get to that later. Also, Andrei Kuzmenko and the LA remain in contact on a potential extension. Both sides would prefer short-term deal. Kuzmenko and Hiller had a very good relationship. I hope we get Kuzmenko signed. I think he was a great addition, especially with the triple K line of Kopitar, Kempe, and Kuzmenko. The Kings have made contact also with Alex Laferriere's camp. A short-term deal is more likely. No timeline was given, but he's a restricted free agent. So possibly like last year, we might see offer sheets come out. So it's possible he might get an offer sheet. In regards to Tanner Jeannot, he wants a bigger role than he got and would have gotten in LA this season. He probably will not return, as previously reported by Russell Morgan. And we know we lost Marco Sturm to the Bruins. So the Ontario Reign coaching candidates include Reign assistant coach Chris Height and Eisbären Berlin coach Serge Aubin from Germany, per Mayor's Manor. And also, the Kings will host the team's annual development camp at the Toyota Sports Center in El Segundo, California, from Monday, June 30th, which is this upcoming Monday, through July 3rd. The development camp roster will feature Kings prospects from recent NHL drafts and other camp invitees participating in on-ice sessions conducted by Kings player development staff. A full camp roster will be released once finalized, and all on-ice camp practices are free and open to the public. And that 4-day event features daily practices and scrimmages led by the Kings player development staff, which includes Glenn Murray, Mike Donnelly, Sean O'Donnell, Jarrett Stoll, Matt Green, Jeremy Clark, Bill Ranford, Adam Brown, Danny Tyrone, and Manon Renome, along with guest coach Tyler Nogler from St. Mary's University. Now to some rumors. Per Elliot Friedman, the Rangers may be the front runners to sign Vlad Gavrikov. Friedman has now said this twice, once on his written 32 thoughts over the weekend, and again this morning that was a day or two ago, on his 32 Thoughts podcast. Now, we did have a trade. The Senators acquired defenseman Jordan Spence from the Kings for the 67th pick in this year's draft and a 2026 sixth-round pick. That was per Elliot Friedman. No, that has happened.
Yeah.
In fact, the Kings are next on the clock for that pick on the draft if you're watching it.
Am I behind? Oh, they are on the clock. Okay, there it is. Yeah.
Now we're on to league news.
By the way, Adam, I know you did tell me you are agent of chaos. This is better. This is better than you being on the show, because then I don't have to edit as much. and by the way, the way you said Ontario, you did say it kind of funny.
Got to give Adam some something to say, right?
You don't have to. No, he has enough. You're just adding more to his arsenal.
Wow.
But yeah, let's move on to league news. So we're gonna do signings and extensions first. This is what we have so far. Things can change. Remember, this is as of Saturday at 10:25 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm gonna just do the first two because they're kind of together. The Golden Knights have re-signed forward Riley Smith to a 1-year, $2 million extension, and they also signed forward Brandon Saad to a 1-year, $2 million extension. So good, probably 1-year deals. They both get to stay in Vegas, and that's where they wanted to stay. So good for them. That was good. I feel like that kind of adds more cap space to them, so that maybe they won't be able to go after Marner.
Yeah, they'll find a way.
I know.
The Stars re-signed forward Jamie Benn to a 1-year, $1 million AAV contract extension. The deal includes a possible $3 million in potential performance bonuses. So they got him for a deal, and if he obviously he could make up to $4 million with his performance bonuses.
Yep. Yeah, he's gonna get a lot of. So it's kind of like the same kind of deal that Jonathan Taves got. A little different, but not as heavy play bonus. So next up, the Oilers signed forward Trent Frederick to an 8-year, $30.8 million extension. The deal has a full no move clause in the first 4 years. I believe it's 3.85, 3.84 AAV, I believe. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting, like, why he got an 8-year deal when he didn't even play. I don't even think he played in the last Stanley Cup final game. So,
well, he's gonna be the tough guy since they traded Evander Kane,
yeah, true.
which is coming up, I think, too.
Another spoiler.
Yeah, I spoiled it. This is per the Sporting News. Oilers Connor McDavid will probably get a record-setting $65.4 million contract. Now that hasn't happened. It is speculated, but it was on the Sporting News. I don't want to say it, but who's going to make the most money? Obviously, the
McDavid.
McJesus is going to make the most money.
Yeah, there's been rumors that I was like, should he sign an 8-year deal? Should he sign a 4-year deal? Stuff like that.
That's a 4-year deal, and the
Yeah.
reason why is the cap keeps going up.
Yeah, so I get that. Next up is I know this is what some Ducks fans who they kind of wanted to sign, but he ain't going anywhere. Yeah, McCrybaby. But Leafs have signed forward John Tavares to a 4-year extension worth $4.38 million AAV. I know he could have gotten so much more on the open market, but I know he wanted to stay in Toronto, so I don't blame him for that.
Jack Quinn signs a 2-year extension with the Sabres, carrying a $3.375 million AAV.
And then probably one of the top possible UFAs that was going to go on the market is no longer on the market. The Panthers have signed reigning Conn Smythe winner Sam Bennett to an 8-year, $8 million AAV contract extension. So he probably easily could have gotten $9-10 million on the open market, but I don't think he would have gotten it, but he would not have been the same player as he is in Florida. So I think this was the best move for both sides.
I agree with that one.
Yeah.
Kevin Ball gets a 6-year extension with the Flames, $5.35 million AAV.
Yeah, I think he was part of the Tanev trade, like Chris Tanev trade to the Stars, I believe.
Since I did the spoiler alert, I'll take this one.
Go for it.
Per Puckpedia, Vander Kane has been traded to Vancouver for a 2025 4th-round pick, number 117. That has happened.
And then next up is probably a trade that everybody was waiting for. The Buffalo Sabres are sending JJ Peterka to the Utah Mammoth in exchange for defenseman Michael Kessering and forward Josh Doan. And Peterka did sign an extension, 5 years and a 7.7 AAV. A lot of people are wondering why such a small return, but I think that's what Buffalo wanted. Like, I heard they got bigger offers, but this is what they wanted more and everything. So I think it was a good move for both teams because Buffalo also gets a right-handed shot defenseman. And yeah, Kane's ex-wife was savage after that trade. She was going on social media saying, thank God he's gone. Now the Oilers can actually win a Stanley Cup. And there was much more. Much more.
Yeah, they had a very big split, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was quite controversial.
Yeah. And then
Panthers acquired, is that Daniel Tarasov Blue Jackets acquire the 60th overall pick in the 2025 NHL draft.
Yeah. And then the Wild are trading Frederick Gaudreau to the Kraken in exchange for a 2025 fourth round pick.
This is a big trade.
Yeah.
I think the Montreal Canadiens are acquiring defenseman Noah Dobson from the New York Islanders and signing him to an 8-year contract worth $9.5 million annually. The Canadiens' massive splash comes hours before the NHL draft. Montreal has 2 first-round picks entering Friday at the 16th and 17th overall. Both those picks go to the Islanders, which also have the number 1 selection in the draft. The Islanders also receive Emil Heinemann, a 23-year-old left winger who had 18 points in 62 games last season.
Yep. You know, he's been traded 3 separate times.
So Islanders trade him. Why? Because their first pick. Their first pick was a guy that they think could be another Quinn Hughes or Cale Makar.
That's what they're hoping for.
And he's only 17.
Yeah. The Colorado Avalanche traded forwards Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood to the Columbus Blue Jackets on Friday, freeing up much needed salary cap space hours before the NHL draft. And the Blue Jackets sent forward Gavin Brindley, the 77th overall pick in this year's draft, and a conditional 2027 second round pick. I do not know what the condition is on that one. Let me see if I can find it on Puckpedia real quick. Shouldn't be too hard to find. The condition is, let's see if it tells me. Columbus has the option to transfer Minnesota's 27 second round pick instead. If Columbus trade either of those picks, the other is transferred to Colorado. Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
it was a 2025 third round pick or second. Oh, interesting.
He said a conditional 27 second round pick.
Oh, 77. That is the third round pick. Okay. The 77th is the third round pick. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, that's the overall pick. And
Yeah.
a conditional 2027 second round pick to Colorado.
Yeah.
All right. Want me to go next? Retired. Islanders forward Matt Martin has retired from his playing professional hockey and has joined the front office as a special assistant to GM Matthew Darche.
Darsh. That's it?
That was it on retired.
I'm trying to see if I can pull up the pictures of the logos. And I don't have them right here. I thought I saved them on my phone. Guess I didn't. Oh, I put them on. See if I can try to pull them up here. Nope. All right. Never mind. I was trying to save. I know I saved them somewhere, but I saved them in the wrong spot. Dumb Cody. But we got some new logos and new jerseys. The Bruins reveal a new primary logo and jerseys for the 2025-2026 season. And beyond, inspired by their centennial look. And honestly, I like the look a lot better. They kind of got rid of the egg yolk right here that had like the yellow line and was yellow. Now just imagine Happy Gilmore's jersey, just more modernish. So I do like the new look for the Bruins for sure.
Wow.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. The Blues have also unveiled a new primary logo and uniforms inspired by their recent Winter Classic and Heritage jerseys. So no more navy blue for the Blues. Now they're going with that kind of light blue, powder blue look. and I like the jerseys a lot. I think that's a better look for them. So the jerseys look great. Both the home and away look really nice. So I do like that. And then also the Red Wings have unveiled their 100th anniversary logo. And also I think the Blackhawks also unveiled the new centennial look too. So I don't have any pictures, but I'm pretty sure if you guys looked it up on Twitter or social media, you can easily find them as well. Sorry, I don't have pictures for you.
Okay, to other. New York Rangers are sending the 12th overall pick in this year's draft to Pittsburgh instead of deferring it to 2026. This was part of the conditions in the JT Miller trade from Canucks. If the 2026 pick was in the top 13, the Rangers had the option of sending this pick or I don't know, 60. I'm not, I don't,
Or I don't know why.
Or their 2026 first round pick instead of the pick that was flipped by Vancouver to Pens.
Yeah, if you guys remember, the Rangers sent the Canucks a first round pick, and then almost immediately they sent that pick to Pittsburgh for Marcus Pettersson. So that's why the Penguins are getting that pick.
Okay.
No, he doesn't need new glasses. There was just a typo in the notes. Okay, Adam, calm down.
Yeah.
I'm defending you there, Dad.
Thank you.
There was a typo in the notes, and it was my fault. But yeah, I think that was a smart move for New York to send them the pick this year, because next year's going to be a better draft, and who knows, they might do an offer sheet. And to do an offer sheet, you kind of need your own pick for that too. So, and then the Sharks have placed longtime defenseman Marc-Edouard Vlasic on unconditional waivers for buyout purposes. So Mark Vlasic will no longer be a Shark. He will be bought out. He had 1 year remaining on his contract. I don't know what the buyout is exactly, but I know there's I don't understand why the Blackhawks and the Sharks are doing this when they have tons of cap space, but I think it's just to open up a roster spot for other like the younger players.
Okay. This is a boo. The NHL has found the Edmonton Oilers were not found to have done anything wrong in their LTIR situation, and the league will not pursue the issue with Evander Kane anymore, per Frank Saravelli.
Yeah, boo.
Boo.
So we have another expansion team, possibly. The Austin, Texas throws its hat into the NHL expansion ring as the franchise fee hits $2 billion. So we already know Atlanta is already trying to do it. Now Austin, Texas is also trying to get a team. I don't think, do we have any like Austin based teams in any pro sports?
Well, I know the Rangers used to be in Austin, the Texas Rangers.
Now they're closer to Dallas or Arlington.
Arlington. It's Arlington, not Austin. You're right.
Oh,
yeah, Austin. I don't think there's anything down there. That's a couple hours south of where your sister lives.
Yeah. And then speaking of Dallas, do you want to go for the next one?
I'll do it. Dallas Stars GM Jim Nill has won the Jim Gregory General Manager of the Year award.
I don't agree with this one bit. I thought Jim Nill did a great job, but I think it should have gone to either Spencer Carber or not Carber, the Washington, or who was the other one that was up for it?
Florida,
Bill Zito. Yeah, Bill Zito, yeah. Or it should have gone to the Washington.
He didn't win it again, I guess.
Bill Zito, I thought, did a better moves. He won the Stanley Cup again.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Dynasty?
Maybe. And then we got the 2025 Hockey Hall of Fame class for this year. I'm gonna just go.
Are you gonna go put a thumbs up or a thumbs down on each one of these?
I'm not gonna do any thumb down. Any thumbs down. I thought they were all perfect picks.
Oh, they all got it already.
This is all players that made it.
Okay. Well, I think all the players. I don't know the girls players that well.
I've heard of Jennifer Botterill. I don't know who Brianna Decker is. I've heard the name, just not very familiar with it. But Alex McGinley finally makes it in after 16 years on the Hall of
Yeah,
Fame wait
that seems
list.
like it's well overdue. He was a
Well overdue. Yeah.
great player.
And then we had 3 first-time first ballots: Joe Thornton, Duncan Keith, and Zdeno Chara.
And
I thought
yes,
those were easy ins.
easy ones. Yes,
There-
all the guys.
You know who are
Easy
the other?
ones.
There was 2 other players that were first ballots that had a chance to make it this year. Do you know who they were?
I don't.
Carey Price and Ryan Getzlaf. And I don't disagree with who they picked at all. I don't think Getzlaf should be in, but I don't think he should have made it over those players, in my opinion.
And Carey Price, he kind of ended his career early.
He kind of had to because of the injuries.
So I mean, I can see where they didn't make it. I mean, not that they won't eventually get in.
Yeah, so those were all the player categories, and then we had Jack Parker make it in the builder category, and Daniil Savagou.
Savageau?
Savagou?
I'm not really sure.
Sure. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. I guess that's the one hockey name I probably can't say.
Come on, Adam. Where's your comment?
Yeah, I know, right? And then the new CBA agreement was, I don't know if is it official?
I thought it was.
But the new collective bargaining agreement is set to begin on September 16th, 2026, the day after the current CBA expires, and it will run through September 15th, 2030. So here's what they have as the main things. I know there's more to it, but these are just the main things. Remember, this doesn't start this season. It starts the year after. We will go from an 82 game schedule to an 84 game schedule. And then each team playing the divisional opponents 4 times, and the preseason is trimmed to just 4 games per team. And if a player played 100 games or more the season before, like, season plus playoffs, they can only play in 2 preseason games max, which smart. I'm good with that. The 84 game schedule, I was kind of shocked that got through. I didn't think the players would want to play another 2 games, but the more division, because I was kind of like thinking, like, why is it weird that like some years like the Ducks and Kings want to play each other 3 times? I want to see the Ducks and Kings 4 times a year or more. So, and then the contract length limits now, instead of 8 years, it's 7 years. So if you re-sign with the team, the most you could sign is for 7 years, and if you leave as a free agent, it is 6 years. So I think it's really going to help a lot of contracts, and some people that sign long terms, they can have time for another contract at a younger age.
True.
And then no more deferred salaries. Contracts can no longer include deferred payments, and signing bonuses are capped at 60% of the total salary. So no more like
no more Shohei Ohtani contracts, huh?
Yeah, no more Ohtani contracts. Exactly. The next up, the salary cap introduced. The infamous LTIR loophole is being closed. Teams will now have to stay under a cap during the playoffs, not just the regular season. I don't know what the exact details. They haven't really announced that part yet. What the exact, like, maybe it's just whoever you're playing that night has to be under the cap. So instead of 23 players under the cap, it's only the 20 players under the cap, I believe. So we'll see that. And then full-time e-bugs. This is the one that I kind of like love and hate at the same time. Emergency backup goalies will now be full-time roles, traveling and practicing with the teams. No more last-minute amateur call-ups, which kind of has me bummed because I always love that those good stories.
Yeah. No Zamboni driver coming in and making 25 saves and winning the game.
Or the I'm not trying to say this as like a bad thing, but the half blind guy that the Ducks had, in that Dallas game a few years ago. Like he's I think blind in one eye, and he only gave up one goal, and it was to Jason Robertson. It was off a tip shot on the power play. I'm not even going to count that against him. But like I said, it sucks that the e-bug is going to be gone. And then the last bit of one is no more dress code. Players will no longer be required to follow a formal dress code when arriving or leaving games. Oh boy, now we're really going to have some fun seeing some interesting outfits show up to the games.
Yeah.
I know there was
Might
something else.
might be very interesting, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I thought there was something. I thought there was something else they talked about too. Let's see.
Want to wait till you figure that out, or move on to our
the significant increase to the Stanley Cup playoff pool. So it should double like the playoff pool. So if you win a certain thing, it moves up. Let's see. Oh, here's another big one: the draft pick signing rights for draft players. So if you drafted a player out of the CHL, like the junior league, you usually had their rights for 2 years, and if they signed, I believe, overseas or college, it was 4 years. Now it's 4 years for everyone, the university expire at the age 22, regardless of the league. So that's the new one too, because of the whole new rule where CHL players can now go play college now. So I'm okay with that.
Are you?
Yeah, because now, because I was kind of confused. I was thinking about it. I was like, well, okay, so say the Ducks drafted someone, and then he went from juniors to college. College is until their senior year. So now it's the 2 years they already had them, and then or the year or whatever they had them. So it could have added more years. It was kind of confusing.
So basically, the age 22 is it?
Yeah, age 22. Yeah.
Okay. Which would be most college seniors if they went right from high school to college.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Sounds good.
And then we got draft picks.
Okay.
Round 1. I'll let you go first because I've talked quite a bit.
You have. It's been kind of nice. I've been just sitting here listening. The LA Kings ended up trading the 24th pick and getting the 31st overall pick in the 2025 draft. And they selected Henry Brzustewicz, a 6'2" right shot defenseman from the OHL's London Knights. Brzustewicz is a smooth skating two-way blue liner who played a key role for London's Memorial Cup championship run. He tallied 42 points, 10 goals, 32 assists in 67 games and earned praise for his puck-moving ability, offensive instincts, and defensive reliability. Scouts highlight his poise under pressure, willingness to jump into the rush, and potential to grow into a second-pairing NHL defenseman. Not only that, he joins another Kings that also played for the London Knights, and they might be playing together, Jared Woolley. So I did see something about that. I don't have who said that and where it came from, but wouldn't that be interesting to have the same pairing with, and the London Knights seem just to be in the mix for the Memorial Cup every year now.
Yeah, they're like the Yankees of the Canadian juniors, or the Dodgers, I should say, maybe more recently.
Yeah. So
I just saw this on Twitter. Speaking of the draft, the Ducks coordinated this with ESPN and Disneyland for 6 to 8 weeks prior to the NHL draft, with the Ducks draft pick going to Disneyland. So that was already, no matter who they picked, they already had that coordinated. And I'll find out, and I'll tell you why it was end up being so much better, because the Ducks, with the 10th overall pick, selected Roger McQueen, a towering 6'5" center with elite hands and a serious two-way upside. Despite a shortened season due to injury, his raw skill and play driving potential made him a high reward pick later in the draft. Anaheim added more size and mobility on defense, he added more in defense, continued to build around their young core. The rebuild stays on track and maybe just a pickup for future top line force. He's a big boy. And like I said, Roger McQueen met Lightning McQueen last night. The only thing that'll make this whole thing better is if he wears number 95 and says "Ka-chow."
I bet you that happens.
Yeah. And
I have no doubt that's going to happen.
and now his goal song has to be "Life is a Highway" by Rascal Flatts. That has
there
to be
you
his goal
go.
song.
That would be
it's all coming together now, guys.
Awesome.
But I love the pick for Roger McQueen. That's who. I know he's a big boy and he had back issues. That was the injury he had, but he was fully clear. He did really well at the combine and everything. I'm excited for Roger McQueen. I really am. That's who I wanted them to pick. I know there was other people that wanted them to take Eklund. There was other people that wanted him to take Merca, but Merca got taken right before the Ducks pick. I wouldn't have minded Merca. If they would have taken Merca, I would have been A-okay with that pick too. I would have been just as happy with that pick because he's a tall right-handed shot defenseman too. So, but I don't see any other news right now on Twitter. But do you have anything else?
I don't. I know there's been trades going on with the draft, the second round today, which we'll go over more on our next podcast. Kings do what they always do. They trade and get more picks. So be prepared for that. It is on an NHL Network. If you have that with your cable or TV provider, you could watch, get an update on it. So, but I don't have anything else, Cody.
Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can find if there was like a UFA list. I know they have it somewhere.
For
hockey, yeah. See, do they have it on Puckpedia? Let's see. Bam, players. Let's see. All right, top free agents of 2025. I'm going to tell you the player, and I want you to tell me where they're probably going to go. All right. Mitch Marner. Where do you think he's going?
Los Angeles.
All right. What do you think his give me the salary. How many years? How much AAV?
I think I don't care where he goes. I think it's not going to be a long-term deal. I think it's going to be a short.
You think it's going to be like a 4-year deal, like 2 or 3 or 4 year deal?
2, 3, or 4 years, probably around 14 million. I'm guessing 13, 14 million. Yeah. Because the cap keeps going up. He'll only be 32. He's, I think, 28 right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And that he'll want to jump in and get a little bit more money at 32, or maybe 30. It might be a 2-year deal. Yeah. I think he's going to do a short-term deal. I mean, there's a lot of rumors he's coming to California.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not just talking about the Kings, possibly the Ducks. And I mean, and if they did that, that might, if they get him, it's going to take away some of that pain that the Ducks felt about Zegras going.
So right now, the Kings have $23.2 million in cap space. So what's the AAV? And because you still got to now assign another right-handed shot defenseman and possibly a left-handed shot defenseman.
I hear that that they're interested in him for that star value. I'll be honest with you, I think they're gonna try to get a score with a little bit less AAV. I mean, if they lose Gavrikov, um, they still have to replace him. They have to replace Spence, and they have to replace, a backup goalie unless they're going to go with either Portillo or
Copley.
Copley.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with that. I I'm thinking like a Brock Besser might be more in line for the Kings, and then picking up, you know, a good defenseman. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, there's a lot of speculation that what can happen. There could be another trade that opens up some more cap space for the Kings. So I don't know. Um, but like I said, I just kept hearing the rumors that one of the top places was the Kings, and right behind it was the Ducks.
Yeah. Because I know, see, like they're saying Vegas, but Vegas only has 5.6 million
Well,
available.
they'd have to make a trade.
Yeah, so
That's
someone
the only
has to
way they could
go.
do that.
Yeah, but that's also them with 19 players signed on their roster, and the Ducks have 17 players signed, 17 players signed, but they still got just under 40 million, 38 million, and everything.
I mean, honestly, I think the Ducks have a more affordability to get a guy like Marner than most other teams do. So they probably have a good chance of picking him up. Um, like I said, not always necessarily is getting the big splash the best thing. I mean, if you looked at you had superstars with Chicago. They won 3 out of 5 years. The other 2 years, the Kings won the Stanley Cup. The Kings really didn't have a guy like Marner. Kopitar was their superstar
Yeah,
back then, and they had all those role players like Justin Williams and Jeff Carter. I mean, they were all good players, but they weren't that superstar.
yeah.
And they
So
picked up the right guys to win the championship. And I don't always think the big splash is going to do it, but we'll see what happens with that. It's good. That's what's exciting about this summer.
yeah,
I think it's more exciting than it's been in years of what might happen. We might have some definitely big change coming up in hockey, where a team might say like the Ducks, who have been pretty much, top 10 in the draft, if they could pick up enough guys to
make the playoffs.
contend.
I would. I wouldn't say like they're going to be Stanley Cup favorites, or they're going to make the.
I said
finals.
contend. I didn't say
Yeah,
favorite.
but they could be wild card possible, and hope maybe third. Third in the division. Anywhere between 3 to 5 area right there, instead of the 6, 7, 8 where they've been. The thing now with the Kings, the only people you guys have on the restricted free agents is Studnicka, Riley Walsh, Cole Krieger, Samuel Fagimo, sorry, and Alex Laferriere.
Yeah, those are restricted free agents.
Yeah, those are your restricted free agents. How much would you be willing to sign Laferriere for?
Well, we kind of have control of that
Mm-hmm.
because he is restricted. I mean, somebody could sign him to an offer sheet. But I'm thinking, he gets a raise to 3 million,
3 million.
3.5. I like him.
All right, we'll
I
say
like
3.
the way he plays. I mean, I'd take 10 of him.
All right, for how many years?
Short term, couple years.
So we'll do 3.25 for 2 years. So I'm on Puckpedia, and you can kind of do this because right now, let's see. Right now it has Turcotte, Kopitar, Kempe as your first line, Fiala, Byfield, and I just re-signed Laferriere for you at 3.25. So Fiala, Byfield, Laferriere as your second line, Moore, Deneau, Fogle for your third line, Mollot, Hellenis, and Akil Thomas for your fourth line. Your defense is Anderson, Dowdy, Edmondson, Clark, Morvarari, and Burrows, and your goalies is Kemper and Portillo.
Wow.
That's what they have right now. It doesn't say anything else. Do you want me to sign a UFA for you and see where? Because right now you have just under $20 million in cap space. We got time, so we're gonna play like GM for the.
I'd have
team.
to know who all the UFAs are.
So UFAs, we're gonna go by.
I think they need to pick up. I mean, you don't. Did you have Kuzmenko in there? Because he's a UFA.
No, he's a UFA. So you got Mitch Marner, Grandlin, Ehlers, Kane, Martin Ferk. Oh, that's not right. Let's see.
Not signing Martin Ferk.
Let's do NHL only. Maybe that will help. You got Brad Marchand, Claude Giroux, Brock Besser, Pius Suter, Evgeny Dadanov, Evgeny Kuznetsov is apparently making his way back to the NHL too. Jack Roslovic, Jonathan Drouin. Do you want to re-sign Kuzmenko? Aaron Ekblad is available too.
I think
Ivan Provorov is another good option.
Well, I think if
Corey Perry,
if they don't sign Gavrikov, I think they might sign Provorov.
Okay, so
as a replacement for him.
What would you do if you were the GM? You're the GM for the day. Who are you signing?
Well, it would depend on for how much money. What did Provorov get? Was he at like $6 million?
Provorov was.
I mean, aren't they paying? Weren't they paying him? Paying
his
him
last
anyway.
Cap hit was 6.7. And no, you guys aren't paying him anymore because he's a free agent now. So his contract expires. So technically, Provorov was already a king. Technically,
in a way.
Here. Is what Adam says. Sign Perry, guaranteed, no cup.
Well, the Ducks are going to re-sign him, so
we'll see.
I mean, he makes it to the cup, though. He makes to go play for it. He's done it quite a few times.
Yeah, you're the GM. What's the move?
Well, if I could get Provorov probably for like 7.25.
All right,
I don't think Gavrikov is coming back. I think he's going to test, and he's going to want $9 million.
So 7.2.
Yeah, 7.25.
How many years?
4.
4 years. Okay, so now you have a cap hit of $12.7 million.
Then I'd probably Ehlers.
Ehlers.
He'd be my number one.
Oops.
Pick. Taking away a superstar.
So his last cap hit was $6 million. He's supposed to make approximately $8.2 million.
Really? How old is he?
He is 29 years old. Left shot, left wing.
How old is Besser?
Besser is 28. His expected cap hit is supposed to be $7.5 million. Average of 5.5 years.
And what about Ehlers?
Ehlers was 8.2. Expected years is just over 6.
And he's 29.
He's 29. Besser's 28. Ehlers played 69 games, had 24 goals, 39 assists. Besser had 75 games, 25 goals, 25 assists. So one more goal, but 14 less assists for Besser. But that was also on a very high school drama-filled Vancouver team last year.
So Ehlers, I would sign for me.
Okay. Cap hit?
Yeah.
What's the cap hit?
What did you say? It was
8.2?
Let's go 8.2.
For how many years?
4.
4 years.
Not 6.
Okay. So now you have $4.5 million of cap space left.
So I got my defenseman. I still need another defenseman.
So right now, we could put Ehlers as a left wing. So do you want to put him on the first line with Kopitar and Kempe?
We didn't re-sign Kuzmenko, right?
No. So right now I put
What
Ehlers
what
on your
what would Kuzmenko get?
Kuzmenko. Let's
Yeah.
see. He can get. Hold on, let me go back. UFAs. Let's go by points. Kuzmenko, where are you? Oh, NHL only. Duh. Kuzmenko, 4.4 million for. It says average years 2.5 years.
So I'd take away Ehlers. I'd re-sign Kuzmenko for the 4 point
Okay,
for 3 years.
let's see. Where do I get rid of? Get rid of Ehlers.
Yeah. I think Kuzmenko already proved he has chemistry with the team,
Okay.
and it would save some money. We could still get up a backup goalie.
So Kuzmenko, remember this is just an estimate average cap hit. So
I
it
know.
says 4.4. So you say 4.5
Yeah, that's fine.
for 3 years.
Yeah.
All right. So now you got 8.2 million.
I need a right-handed defender.
Okay, so I'll put Kuzmenko on the top line with Kopitar. So right now you have Kuzmenko, Kopitar, Kempe. You have the triple K line. I'm not going to say it the other way.
Okay. What other
then-
way?
The silence. Then you got Fiala, Byfield, Laferriere, Fogel, Deneau, Moore, Thomas, Hellenis, Malott, and Turcotte is your 13th forward on the depth chart now, unless you want me to switch someone up. You want me to put Turcotte in for Thomas or
Yeah.
Malott?
Thomas.
Malott or Thomas? Okay. So Thomas is your
Thomas.
13th forward. For defense, we have Anderson, Doughty, Edmondson, Clark.
I think Andres Lee is gonna take Malott's spot, and he'll. I think he might even be a free agent.
Andre Lee?
Yeah.
No, he signed.
Oh, is he?
He is in the press box. I'll put him up here. So defense, where are you gonna put Provorov? Is he gonna play
Second
Number one.
line with the Clark.
They're both right-handed shots, aren't they? Is Clark right? Yeah, yeah, they're both right-handed shots.
Ooh.
So
Well, he
you're
could
gonna
play
put
on the left. He could play on the left side.
Provorov or Clark?
Provorov or Clark.
All right, I'll put Provorov.
It happens all the time.
So want me to put Edmondson in for Morari?
Yeah.
All right. So we got Anderson, Doughty, Provorov, Clark, Edmondson, Burrows. As you
Okay. I still have room for another defender and maybe a goalie.
So here's what Kevin said on Twitch. Hey guys, hope the pod has been good so far. Agreed on keeping Kuzmenko. We know he'll fit in versus someone like Besser or who has been rumored to come in. Might not even be an upgrade.
Yeah, it's true. I agree with you, Kevin. Took me a minute to figure that out.
Yeah, and Adam, top level defense can play either side.
That's what I thought about Provorov.
Okay.
But I'm thinking they're going to still look for another. I don't think they want Burrows to be a regular.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could put Edmondson and Morvarari. Morvarari's not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
You're not going to score any points, but he's not going to hurt you. He plays good defense. Because they could go. I mean, even maybe without even Provorov, you could have Edmondson, Clark, Morvarari, and then pick up another right-handed defenseman. If somebody in the chain isn't good enough yet, which I don't think they're ready yet. So
okay, so I'm gonna ask you this question, but I'm gonna ask two different ones. Okay. Where do you think he'll go, or where do you want him to go? Those are the two questions. So Mitch Marner, where do you think he'll go?
My gut feeling?
Yeah.
Anaheim.
Where do you think where do you want him to go? LA.
You know, it'd be fun to have somebody like that. I just don't know if that works in the overall system of the team.
Okay.
But you know what? it is a business, right?
Yeah.
And he's got star value. I mean, he brings more people into into the arena. So
Yep.
that would be a possibility. But I think he might go with the Ducks or maybe some surprise team.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ducks have room for him.
Yeah. Plenty.
So not that
So
I want to see them get all that much better because I don't want to be behind them.
yeah. Okay. Granlund, where do you think he'll go, and where do you want him to go?
What's he gonna make?
Granlund. Let me look. Stop playing with your table.
Playing with a pin. Sorry, I'm
I can hear it.
sorry.
Granlund is. He can't be this far. Oh, there he is. 5.5 million. But he's also 30. He's 33 years old, and his average length is possibly 3 years. About 3 years.
Where is he gonna go? I have no idea.
I could see him going. All right, with Marner, I want him to be in Anaheim,
I knew that.
obviously. And where do I think he'll go? I think Vegas somehow does it. I don't want him there. I really don't want him there, but that's where I think he's gonna go.
I don't even think about that.
I know.
You got him and Eichel.
I'm being for real though.
Yeah, I could. They'll find a way. That's for sure.
Granlund, I could see him going. New York Rangers.
Yeah. Well, they need something because they definitely fell off the map last year.
I'm gonna say Rangers or Devils.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Next up, Ehlers. Where do you think he'll
Re-sign with Winnipeg.
Okay. That's where you think he'll sign?
Yeah.
Where do you want him to sign?
I wouldn't mind having him on the Kings, to be honest with you, but I mean, I just don't know if it could be fit into the overall structure of the team.
Even you're driving mom crazy with the pen. And you got used to get mad at us when we used to play with pens as a kid, and then you do it just as much as we did. And then here's what Kevin said on Twitch. I'm not sure if Marner is the piece to make LA a legit contender, but would really make me feel so much better knowing the Kings are finally in for truly big names. Honestly, I see him ending up in Anaheim. I'd say Vegas, but I'm not sure they figure out making this. I completely agree 100% with you, Kevin.
The thing is we've
100%.
never signed a big free agent ever in what 50
Yes.
58
7
years. We've never signed a big free agent. It's always been by trade.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean, that would be nice. I can't see it making us overall better either, Kevin. That's why. I mean, it would just be a fun thing to have a new toy to play with.
Yeah. All right. So Ehlers, you say you think he's
think
gonna
he's
end up
going to
in
go to,
Winnipeg,
yeah.
and then where do you want him to go?
I'm trying to think of who has space for him.
Let's see.
You know, if he didn't want to stay in Winnipeg, he could drive him crazy and go to Dallas. I don't know if they have
Dallas
space.
has no. They have 980K.
Nashville.
I could see Ehlers going to Nashville has 14 million in cap space. I see him going to Carolina.
That would definitely help.
They have 26.
Carolina is on the brink. That would be a great pickup for Carolina.
They have $26 million in cap space. They have most of their players already all signed up. So I'm gonna go with Carolina for Ehlers. That's where I think he'll go. Where I want him to go. I'm trying to pick people outside of the Western Conference, and it's kind of hard. where I want him to go, I can see him in Detroit.
They have space for him.
They have 18.4 million in cap space, so I can see that.
Anaheim.
If we don't get Marner, Ehlers would be it, like my next one. And then next up, Patrick Kane. We're gonna do Kane and then Marchand, and then we'll get out of here.
I think Marchand's staying in Florida. I don't even think there's a.
All right. So you think he's staying in Florida? Where do you want him to go? Florida. Both of them could be that same answer. Or how about this? We'll skip Marchand, Besser.
Besser?
Let's do Kane first. Where do you want him to go, or where do you think he'll go?
What is his contract?
He was making $4 million this last year, but he's also.
Wouldn't it be fun if he went to Winnipeg and joined Taves?
It's a possibility.
$4 million? I mean, I know he's not the player he was, but he's still a pretty good hockey player.
Yeah.
And he's a winner.
Oh, I know this is not on our list, but I just saw Hofer is re-signing in St. Louis 2 years by $3.4 million AAV. He was a goalie.
Okay.
All right, Kane, I can see him going. Where I think he'll go, I think he stays in Detroit.
Yeah.
And where I want him to go, as much as I don't want to see him anymore, but I could see him going to Utah. I don't know why. And then Adam said, I could see Kane coming to Anaheim, unfortunately. Wouldn't that be hilarious? We bring in Kreider. We bring in Quenneville. People that are like can help Zegras be better. And then we bring in his childhood hero idol, Patrick Kane.
He's gone.
And he's gone. As I would hate it, but I could see Marchand. I don't think he wants to come to the West Coast, though.
I think they had a trade for him, and he vetoed it. I believe at the trade deadline last year, and I don't know if you saw. They had not a special, but before the Stanley Cup, he spoke and saying how much he loves it in Florida. It's like a brotherhood for him, and I think it's more than money.
He's
I think he's going to stay in Florida. I'm almost 100% sure of that.
He's getting free Dairy Queen for the rest of his life.
Yeah, well, definitely making him some money.
All right, so Kane, I said stays. I think he stays in Detroit, but I'd want him to stay in Detroit. But I think he goes to Utah or Anaheim. I can see either one. Besser. This would be our last one. Where do you want Besser to go?
I'd like to see him the Kings.
The Kings?
Yeah.
Where do you think he'll go? I think there's an obvious answer. I don't know because I listen to so many podcasts. There's an easy number one choice for him.
And who is that?
Minnesota. He's from Minnesota.
And that would definitely.
And they got 17 million, just 17.7 million.
That knocked them up a notch too.
Yeah. Apparently we had a deal with Marchand that he turned down. So also no Dairy Queen in Manhattan Beach.
Thanks, Kevin. Yes, I know he did. He did decline to come to LA, and I can't see him doing it now.
Yeah.
I really can't see him doing that now. So, but sometimes we get surprised.
Yeah.
But
I think Besser, I think he goes to
Minnesota.
I'm gonna say Minnesota for both of mine. Because he's from there. So I think and I want him to go there.
I mean,
I don't want him in Anaheim.
The only reason I see him like him with the Kings, they need another goal scorer.
Yeah.
Unless Kuzmenko plays like he did after the first 9 games.
Yeah.
Because he didn't really. I think he scored a goal for 9 games.
Yeah.
He may had a few assists, but then he went. He was pretty off. So
Yeah. But so I mean the rest of the draft is going on right now. Like I said, we'll have a full draft episode. It probably won't be next week because I think next week we're gonna do just like a free agency recap for our
it's
teams.
Tuesday, guys. Tuesday
is the day.
is the day. You're gonna see craziness happening in hockey. Maybe through even Independence Day.
Yeah.
I mean, but a lot of it's going to happen on Tuesday.
A lot of it's gonna happen on Tuesday. So be
But
prepared.
it's what
My
starts at
Twitters are
it
gonna
starts at
my
12
Twitters be
12 p.m. Eastern time, right?
yes, 12. I believe it is
9
12
a.m. 9 a.m. here in
9
the
a.m.
West Coast.
Santa's coming. I'm just kidding. Sorry. I had a
Hey,
little
and
elf
you know what? We could be proven wrong about everything we said.
there. That wouldn't be the
I've
first.
seen some craziness before. Who'd have thought Zegras would have got traded for what he got
Pennies?
traded for? I would have not
for
thought that.
for a guy associated with a Pringles can, according to Adam.
Yeah, wasn't it a certain type of Pringles can? It wasn't even a special.
Salt and vinegar Pringles.
Oh, the vinegar was the key part of that one, wasn't it, Adam?
Yeah.
We'll see. You guys might end up liking the guy.
We'll see.
I remember when
I'm more like even about it now. Like I said, I'm fine with it more now. I was not happy on Monday when I woke up. So
I mean, I was surprised.
I'm just happy that the only thing I'm happy about was Zegras going to Philly is he's back with Drysdale.
Yeah. But when the Kings signed Philip Deneau, I go, they gave him what 5-6 years and like $5.5 million, and I'm going, and he wasn't like a superstar in Montreal when that happened, but I did after seeing him play with us. He ended up being a lot better than I thought he would.
Just like Fogle last year for you guys.
And Fogle was that was a great pickup by the Kings. I really like that one. We'll see if we can do something like that.
I don't want to do that much editing, okay, Adam? And plus, if somehow if I do too much bleeping on here, my mom will somehow hit me with a wooden spoon through the camera. Somehow.
Waiting for it.
Yeah.
Waiting for it. Come on. Waiting for it.
Am I safe? So like next week we're gonna do a free agency recap, and then the week after that's what we'll really break down the draft picks for you, because we can also talk about development camp and all that as well. So it'll be like a full prospect one, but next week will be a full free agency one because we love chaos.
There will be chaos.
Yes,
and it'll be fun. And some teams are going to totally improve. Some teams aren't. Some teams are going to get worse because they lost players. We'll see what actually happens. See if anything that we thought actually happens.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Gavrikov signs with the Kings.
You never know.
I mean, I just keep hearing Rangers. So we'll see.
There it is. Smack.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah. But you ready to get out of here?
I am.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up on this week of Royally Quacked. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe, download, and rate on all of your favorite podcast platforms. We are on every single podcast platform you can imagine, hopefully. If we're not, let me know. DM me and let me know. I did fix the Discord link as well. Apparently, it was an invalid link. So thank you, Kevin, for telling me on that, and I fixed it. And thank you, Kevin, for joining our Discord group chat. If you want to join our Discord, it is in the link tree. Just hit the link and everything. I'll put it on there. But if you want to watch more of our content, go to YouTube and Twitch, where you can watch us live or just watch us in general. Follow us on social media for updates and everything royally quacked. I'll try to post as much as I can for free agency. I'll try. Work's been kind of weird lately, just because we're either really slow or really busy. There is no in between. But we are. Shut up, Adam. It's not a trap. But we are going to be down a driver this next week, so we got to put from everything that usually fits on 3 trucks into 2 trucks, and with no overtime. That's the main thing. So
Yeah,
yeah. But just like I said, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember, 55 subscribers by July 1st. Please help us get to that mark. We really appreciate it. Also, go follow us on Twitch. I want us to at least get to at least 10 Twitch followers, hopefully by July 1st. That's, I think, 8 more people. I know we're not really popular on Twitch, but thank you, Kevin, for following us on Twitch. We really appreciate that. Just remember, comment on the videos, and we'll chat on there too. And just remember, check out Elite Sports and Entertainment Network for all things sports and entertainment. Other than that, I'm ready for chaos on Tuesday. Full chaos.
Yes. Looking forward to it.
So, all right, we'll see you guys next week on Royally Quacked. And just remember, let's go Ducks.
And go Kings go.
A father and son, a bond so strong, talking hockey all day long. Royally Quacked, their podcast show, sharing stories, highs and lows. From the Kings to the Ducks they go.